clip from my Bear Grylls episode that airs next week. I put it up yesterday on Instagram. And so on Tuesday night of next week, the 14th, at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, whatever the time is, on Nat Geo, I get to do an episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls where I secretly went to Norway. We couldn't talk about it on the show. I went, didn't say anything about it, came back, was quiet for months. I think we shot it in like July of last year.
Feels like a long time ago.
Oh, was it?
Well, all I know is it's free as cold. You get to northern Norway and it's like in the 20s, and when it was the warmest, it was like 34 or so.
That's crazy.
And so you can see on my Instagram, I'm walking across. We have like a 14-mile journey to go on over 2 days through the fjords, through the mountains, through the water. We had to get across a river, and I'll play you a clip here because what happens is this river was strong in the middle of it, but if I were to get swept away, it went right off a cliff.
Oof.
And I have this rope around my neck and my shoulder. And you're like, why are you wearing a rope around your neck and shoulder? Because if I were to fall and I get swept away, I had a rope around my neck to make sure I didn't go die, basically.
Yeah.
Here's a clip from the episode. This is from my episode coming up on Tuesday, trying to cross a river on a long hike through Norway.
You're over halfway. Lean into that flow. That's it. Shuffling your feet, really nice. Make sure each foot holds solid before you commit to it. Brilliant, brilliant. Well done, you. Great job. Great job.
That was tough. You really don't realize how powerful it is until you go. But if I needed to, I was going to hug a rock and just scream, Bear! I'm not too good for that, but I'm glad I didn't have to do it.
And the water really got tough because when it's at like the shins, it's okay. It's slick and cold, but you're okay. Once it got to the top part of your thighs and that water is just pushing you, it's tough. So I had this big stick. I had to get a big like log and lean it forward like a tripod. So my two legs were two parts of the tripod. The stick was the other. Whoa. And I had to shuffle my legs and never cross your feet because as soon as you cross your feet, you lose your base and it could sweep you back. So and you can see this clip on my Instagram, Mr. Bobby Bones. But it's cool to finally get to post stuff now about it. So, yeah, pretty fun to watch back too. Mm-hmm. The edge of it, is just cold water. The middle of it, I thought maybe I'll die.
But you had to depend on Bear, huh, in a lot of this scenarios. Like your life depended on one dude.
And here's the thing: there's not 20 people up in a crew.
Yeah,
it's a couple of cameras because they're shooting from multiple angles, a sound guy, and a drone operator, and then Bear and I, and that's it. And his guys that are running the cameras are trained at being Navy SEALs or special ops, and then he trains them to do cameras.
Yeah, they're not just like Hollywood camera guys.
Because camera guys can't make it through the terrain that we went through.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have these other guys that are running but it's a very small crew. And then when we would like do the night stuff, they were gone. We shot it with a selfie cam.
Wow.
And so like because there's a part of it where we have to sleep overnight. We have to build our hut. What do you call it, a hut? A tent. We had to go.
Your camp.
Our camp's a good one because we had to go cut down trees and we built the camp.
Your fort.
They were gone. It was just Bear and I. And I was weird about that too because I didn't know Bear Grylls before I got out there.
Right.
I was like, I'm supposed to spend a night with this guy in Norway?
How much time did you spend with him, like total?
Well, the whole trip there was kind of an S show because I was supposed to fly from Nashville to Atlanta to somewhere in Norway, and then Norway to this small village in Norway. That was the flight. It was going to take me about 20 hours to do the whole trip. And again, we had to orchestrate the show, so I didn't say when I was leaving. And I go and it's raining so hard in Nashville that I miss my flight to Atlanta.
Oh my gosh.
I get to Atlanta, they go, you can't fly out tonight because you've missed your flight. So I have to spend the night at a hotel on the outskirts of Atlanta that's basically under a bridge behind a Waffle House.
Oh, great.
I'm not kidding you, the hotel I had to go in, there were like 3 prostitutes in the lobby.
Why didn't they? This was the beginning of your adventure. They should have filmed it.
I thought this was already the adventure. I literally thought.
It's not Amazing Race, Bones.
I thought, am I being filmed? Am I running wild?
Is one of those girls Bear?
The crew, the TV show didn't know. It was the airport that put me in this hotel. And so the TV crew, the production company didn't know they had stuck me 20 miles on the edge of Atlanta. Yeah. And so I missed my flight. And they go, well, you can't fly. Now you have to go Atlanta, Toronto to the Netherlands. And so
oh my gosh.
I was supposed to get there the night before and meet with the crew and with Bear.
Oh, right.
And I didn't. I landed, and as soon as I got into this small town, I threw on all my clothes and away I went. I'd never met anyone.
Wow.
So I get in a helicopter. They fly me into this weird Norway place. There's nobody around. And then the first time you see Bear meet me on camera, it's the first time I'd ever seen him.
That's crazy.
And he's like, all right, Bobby, here we go. And away we went. And it was one of the hardest things. I think it was the short-term hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Well, because Dancing with the Stars was
Yes.
long-term difficult.
That was a different kind of hard, but yes, that was a long-term grind. But it was the hardest thing, but it was also the most fulfilling because I felt there were 2 times during this episode you'll see on Tuesday that I thought maybe I might die. And I didn't think I would, but there was a chance.
Yeah.
There's one part of it where I was so scared that I couldn't speak with my mouth. 1, I was freezing cold, and 2, I was so scared of what I was going to do.
And I saw it the first time, but then when I saw it the second time, I finally saw what you were talking about with your mouth moving because I didn't notice it until you actually say that. That's really funny.
I was scared. And I'm okay with being scared and admitting I'm scared. I never think that fear is a bad thing. I think not doing something because you're scared is where you start to penalize yourself and keep yourself from really the great things in life. I don't know how to dance. I was like, I'm scared to death to go hop on national TV and dance and be. But this was. It was 2 days, and it was the scariest thing I've ever had to do. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
I lived, obviously.
I think me knowing that you were totally okay and you lived, and I've seen you outside of this, watching it, I was so nervous for you. But knowing that you survived, I could breathe a little bit better because it was scary.
And when it was happening, I didn't even realize that's what you were doing. When you left, you're like, I'm going to go do a Bear Grylls show. I didn't know what you were doing until actually we saw it later. I'm like, that's what you did?
Tuesday night on Nat Geo. And what's interesting, too, is our station in Nashville, our affiliate here, they're doing a thing called Running Wild with Bobby Bones. And so and I don't know if everybody can do this, all the affiliates. I just think it's a real fun idea that the station's doing. And the station that we're on in Nashville is called the Big 98. And if you watch I have to eat something weird. We find something, and we could not find food for the life of us. And they don't show all that of us struggling to find bird eggs, and we could find nothing.
Oh, you didn't take snacks or anything with you guys?
No, there was nothing. No snacks.
Oh, God.
There were no Weilers.
No dried ice cream?
Nothing like that. And so we find something, and we eat it. But it's like, if you watch the episode and you go to our station website, you get to run wild with us. Means we bring winners up to hang out and meet all of us on the show. My personal trainer, my boxing coach, because I have some boxing gyms here in Nashville, Title Boxings. They do a 30-minute boxing session with him, and then we give them meet and greets to go see Miranda, and it's a whole thing.
That's
too.
Cool.
It's a good promotion by our Nashville team. So let me shout out Gator for that. So
Running Wild with Bobby Bones.
Bobby,
That's how everything is so dramatic. Every time he says your name, Bobby Bones is going to make his way across the river.
I don't know if Bear's coming on the show or not. We will message a little bit. And he's always in other countries doing shows. I don't know what his timing is. But if you ever watch Bear Grylls' show and you're like, I wonder if he's a nice guy. The kindest guy. Just would love to be his best friend.
But could probably also kill you with his pinky.
For sure. Because he's a special forces guy. But just really wonderful.
Yeah, you can kind of see that just by watching the show.
Just wonderful. So if you want to see that clip of me, it's on my Instagram, Mr. Bobby Bones, but that show's next Tuesday night. So cool.